Welcome, everybody. Happy holidays. And
Ho, 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 and I don't mean a loose woman.
I wait for that every year.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure we got that last year.
Yeah, I've done it.
It's a joke or something, right?
No, it's just ho, 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 and I don't mean a loose woman.
You can't take the Lubbock out of the girl.
You can't. I told the mail girl today, I gave her some money, and I said, ho, 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 and I don't mean a loose woman. I tell the Amazon guy, I can't help it. Check
you know
out.
what? That's funny. That's going to be something we're all going to adopt, and I think that probably makes a lot of people.
Yeah, maybe I'll
very
just
happy.
put that on my headstone.
For sure.
At the funeral.
At the funeral that I get to do.
Yeah, you do get to do
I'm
it.
so excited for that day. When we get to do your celebration, we are going to have a party.
We are. Shoot, I hate to miss it.
No, you'll be there.
I will be there.
You will for sure
I'll be
there.
pranking people.
Well, welcome to another remedy. Are y'all getting excited about holidays coming?
So excited. It's
Are
going
you?
to be fun. Yeah.
Y'all, do you love Christmas?
Yeah, I love Christmas. And I've got pretty much everything's done. I've got everything
You're
wrapped.
always so organized.
Well, I just do it kind of, I can't say what I'm giving because
You always give money, don't you?
yeah, but I'm not. But I've changed things just a little bit.
Oh,
so
that's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. So
Changing it up. Do you love Christmas, Tom?
Yeah, yes. Betty asked me this the other day on the way to school. It's such a hilarious kid question. She's like, Dad, what's your favorite thing about Christmas?
Aw, that's
And I
cute.
said,
That's a thoughtful.
Well, I thought really quickly about what my dad or a good parent would say, which is, the spirit of giving, going to church, all that. And I just went, I like getting awesome gifts.
Let me just be real honest.
Yeah,
with
let
you.
me be transparent.
Hey, there's no shame in your game.
No.
What's your favorite thing to do over the holidays?
Well,
Like, do you guys do lights? Do you?
well, there's so many lights in my neighborhood. They're phenomenal.
Along with the trees?
Have you gone down Beverly at night?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. It's unbelievable. And, yeah, the trees are so magnificent.
You've got to go down. You've got to go down my old block, Deloach.
Yeah.
And between Preston and Edgemere, you cannot believe this house that is. It's shocking. It is.
Maureen lived on that street. In between the streets, she lived exactly where you're talking about.
Well, go down that block and take Betty with you. You will die at one of the homes.
Oh, my gosh. I'll have to go do it.
It is. It's like, how much did that cost?
A lot. I think a lot of people in a lot of neighborhoods it's like a competition.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I always think about having somebody come do some lighting at our house, and I'm like, nah, I don't really want to spend that money.
I don't want to compete.
I don't want to compete.
No, I don't want to compete either.
I can't remember what side street it is, but I've driven by it a few times when I'm taking Betty to school, but it's between Lomo Alto and Douglas, kind of by Christ the King. It might be Southwestern or Purdue.
Yeah.
But there's one house that has as many of those blow up light things.
Saw that
and it's
house.
like, it's every square inch of their front yard.
It's unbelievable.
It's really funny. It's like they're doing a bit,
It
obviously.
is a total bit.
Yes.
And they're all ginormous.
Yes.
They're the
You
most
can barely even see the
ginormous
house
ones.
because of all of the plastic blow-up Christmas toys.
That's
it's amazing.
hilarious.
It is hilarious. The other day I just saw that, Tom, and it was a day that it was super windy and they were all down.
Yeah, I
They
believe
were
it.
all face down. It was something for sure.
That's really funny.
Okay, well, holidays are fun for us.
Yes.
But they're not always fun for everyone every
That is
year.
true. Yes.
We have, I've had some sad holidays.
Sure, me too.
Have you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you, Tom? Have you ever had a sad or hard holiday?
No, I can't recall one.
Wow. That's lucky.
You mean from like a death in the family or something?
Death, anything.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things that can bring you down.
Yeah, when
I cannot recall a sad Christmas, no.
When I
Let's
was
knock on wood.
12, I was spending the night with my grandmother. My family, we were with my grandmother, and I had a cousin who was my age, and we were really, really close. And he died on Christmas morning. He had cancer, and I'll never forget lying in the bed next to my grandmother and the phone ringing, and his name was Don, and he had died. And I think about that every Christmas, and now I think his presence is always around me at that time because I just feel him, kind of. But it was very sad. But
How old were you when that
I was
happened?
12, and he was 12 also.
A baby.
I know. But everybody came. My dad had, 6 brothers and a sister, and there were 18 grandchildren, and everybody came. So we ended up having a really good Christmas. But I always feel that in my stomach. It doesn't make my Christmas negative, but it was just so. I wrote several poems, and I found one just the other day about him, and I just thought, oh my gosh, here we go, because it's very interesting because that some of those memories that are sweet, but they can. It's different. For some reason, they're bigger when it's Christmas.
Sure, of course.
And that's the holiday of all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think if it's good, it's so good.
Yeah.
Like if you're having your first baby or you're getting married or you're having your first grandchild or anything that's good that's happening is super good during Christmas. And then anything that's hard is extra hard.
Yeah,
at Christmas.
And I think that it is. I was thinking about us today. I was thinking about us doing this about Christmas and the things that we love and or that we don't, or all. I mean, it's a big spectrum, but I think it's really important that people allow themselves to grieve during Christmas.
Sure.
If that's where they are in their life, and it could be a memory of, a long time ago for me, but it's not it doesn't ruin my Christmas at all. But there is a sweet grief that helps us to remember people that are not around.
Yeah.
But so I think it's important that everybody give themselves permission to feel whatever they feel. The stages of grief, everybody probably knows that, but it's denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then acceptance. And those are how we grieve in a way that gets us through it so we don't feel so stuck in it,
Yeah.
because it can be really heavy and sad. I'm sure that you think about your babies
Sure. I do.
every Christmas.
I do.
And think how old they would be.
Yep. Yep. And what it would look like if they were here.
Yeah.
And I miss my mom. I know you miss your mom.
I
and your
miss
dad.
my mom and my dad so much.
Yeah. And when my mom died, I was so young. I was 32, 33.
Yeah.
And my parents weren't together, so our mom was home. And so when we lost her, we lost home.
Yeah.
And so you have to really you have to find your new home. You have to find your new, that's one of the things I found. I just Googled, what are some of the hard things that people go through? And one of them was the grief and loss, that the holidays can be particularly difficult if you've recently lost a loved one and bringing up painful memories. Another one is changes in the routine.
Yeah.
So, which I think comes a lot with death. And or like this year, Craig and I getting married, moving in together. You know, it's like that changes the dynamic, it changes the routine, it changes the traditions. Everybody's kind of stepping on each other's you know, it's like,
well, yeah, like
makes it hard
for like
we used to do this, you
Craig
used to do
stuff,
this,
and then
exactly.
and his kids might be like, what? We've never done this before,
totally.
Or you know,
or my kids are like, wait, we go to dinner, we go to church, and then we go to dinner at somewhere, a really nice restaurant, and then we go to friends'
Christmas
homes
Eve.
on Christmas Eve. But now it's like, no, now we're with Craig's family, so now we do Craig family things. You know, it's like it's all changing, and their Thanksgiving changed because we usually go to the lake. Well, we had it at the house, and everybody was at the house, and now Craig's kids have to deal with all of my family coming in, and that's different. I mean, it's just, and you think it's going to be amazing. You hope it's going to be amazing, but it's change, and it's really hard. Change is hard.
It is hard. It can be really hard, and I think that I can be okay when other people are not necessarily okay is something that can be helpful with that, because we can't people please everybody and change it. But it is different. It is. And everybody's going to get through it, and it will be better next year because it will be, you'll know more about it, you know.
And even the next year. And but the initial.
It can be,
Did you experience that when you got remarried? I mean, I know your kids were a little bit older, but.
Well, not really. I mean, Kurt comes to everything.
That's true. You guys do a lot together.
Kurt, for those of you who may not know, that's my ex-husband. And he comes for Thanksgiving and Christmas and every birthday. So I've already bought him several presents, you know, so that's pretty easy. And Tom's ex-wife,
she comes around too,
well,
right?
she has been there before, but her son Cooper is in the military, or maybe, I don't know, some sort of job that he works. And so, but that's okay too. You know, I mean, it's just, I think it's so important to just be flexible about it.
But some people aren't flexible.
I know.
I feel like I'm so flexible, but I feel like some people are so resistant.
I know. It's so.
I am not like that.
I'm really not either.
And my children are not like that.
No, my kids aren't either.
It's like, okay, different, new, okay.
Yeah.
But it's some people really resist and have a very difficult time with change, which we also have to be considerate of.
That's right.
That not everybody's going to be like me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So you're tap dancing around a little bit because this is a whole new thing, and you don't want them thinking, "Oh, Tova's changing everything for us."
Yeah,
we have to be nice to her.
We've got new light fixtures. Christmas is different. I don't know what to do. The toilet paper starts from the top instead of the bottom.
Yeah. Well, they're wrong.
Always top. Always top.
It's true.
Is that true?
Yeah. It's etiquette.
It is?
Yeah. Toilet paper should come from the top, not the bottom.
Why?
That's the etiquette rule. Do you know why, Tom?
We're not heathens.
We're not pagans.
Yeah.
I like the toilet tissue now that has the scallops on it, and then when you pull it apart, it's just so easy.
Maybe so that you
so
can fold
good.
it into a little point when you're done with it every time.
Only
That's how I
you would
leave
do
it
that.
for Maureen.
Yeah.
I just fold it into a point like we're at a hotel.
Oh my gosh, that's actually really funny. Okay, so another reason that people can have a difficult holiday is financial stress.
No kidding.
I think a lot of people struggle with this.
Yeah.
I think we take for granted that holidays are expensive, you know? I mean, I remember when I was getting divorced, I was like, oh man, here we go. It's like tree, lights,
gifts,
presents, food, alcohol. I mean, entertaining, parties. It is an expensive, and there's expectations. There are kids have, especially children, because of Santa. This world we created where Santa gives gifts. Okay, what happens if you don't get gifts?
Yeah. Well, I want gifts. Better give me something.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, a lot of people experience financial stress.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's not a given.
Because a lot of people, I can remember Kurt has an uncle, and we would go to their house for Christmas, for part of Christmas, and then we go to my parents' house. And I mean, they were so extravagant with their purchasing that it was amazing. I could not get over how expensive.
Some people really go bananas.
They really do go bananas.
And and people compare all the time. What did you get for Christmas? Think about that. Think about that question. What did you get for Christmas? You know, years ago, I know I've said this on this podcast before, but years ago I read somewhere that there was a woman who gave her children gold, frankincense, and myrrh gifts. 3 gifts. She was like, if it's good enough for Jesus, it's good enough for you. And I was like, I love that. And so that's what I do with my kids. They get 3 gifts, a gold, a frankincense, and a myrrh. And then I give them really good stocking stuffers and money.
Is frankincense just like spices and stuff?
Yeah,
I don't. Gold would be a monetary thing. Frankincense is like, I don't know, a pack of sugar. And myrrh is like, what is myrrh?
I don't have any idea.
Frankincense, I do know, was what they used to bury people with. They used to. It was a fragrance that they put with people when they died. Yeah, like a potpourri.
Maybe myrrh is the spices.
Huh? Maybe. I don't know. Anyway,
I bet things didn't taste very good back then.
I bet
you needed a lot of myrrh.
So my kids get 3 gifts and then a little bit. So that takes a little bit of the air out of the balloon for me with pressure. And they know it. Like Anna Prince sent me her list and she was like gold, frankincense, and myrrh to choose from. Like, and I went boop, boop, boop.
That's cute. That's really cute.
Yeah. Their gold is pretty expensive.
Yeah. I give my grandkids and my kids money. And they all get that. Well, my kids get more than my grandkids, but all the grandkids get the exact same amount because I guarantee they'll be. We talked about this last time that they're going to be what much did you get?
Oh, it has to be exactly the same. Do you do cash? Is that what you do? Cash.
Yeah.
You're good old grandma.
I am.
The king of kings, cash.
It is the king of kings.
Well, it's, rather than me drive all over town and buy things and try to figure it out, or even if they gave me
and then they're taking back half
list,
of it.
I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that.
And
they like it.
Oh, yeah. Kids and grandkids want money.
Yeah, they do. They like that.
Perfect gift.
I can remember my grandmother she would give there were 18 grandchildren, and she would give us each $5.
Oh,
and
you have said that before. How cute is that?
Isn't that cute? And I can remember thinking, that's so cool. Because I don't know. I didn't have
18 grandchildren?
18 grandchildren.
So she gave almost $200, which was a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay, let's tackle the next one.
Okay.
Loneliness.
Yes.
Oof.
I know.
I feel terrible for these people who are lonely.
I know. And that's, one of the things that I used to tell people that had trouble, that they were lonely. And I said, well, one thing that you can do is go to the mall. Go to the mall.
That's such a good idea.
Sit on the bench and smile at every person that walks by you. And if they say hi, then say hi back. So you have connected with people. And so that is, a really good way, because loneliness is the absence of other humans. They're, and a dog and a cat, they're great too, but it's not the same.
No.
So if you are struggling with that, go to the mall, go to North Park. It's pretty, and it's, you can sit on those little benches and just watch the people. It's kind of fun.
Absolutely. Another thing that I would suggest is talk to some, like, when I was getting divorced and there were times I didn't have my children, I know that you felt that too, and you and Kurt have always gotten along, but like, when I was divorced, and then especially when I started dating and Craig, and we started spending holidays together, like, if I didn't have my kids, I could go and be with Craig, and vice versa.
Yeah.
But like, there were times where I didn't have my kids and I didn't have Craig. And, my family, they were all busy with their families.
So what'd you do? Did you call some friends?
I did.
Yeah.
I've always told friends, hey, I have a handful of friends that I can always call on, that I can always crash. Hey, is it okay if I'm come to your house on Christmas Eve?
Yes, it is. You can come. I'll wrap up a little money for you.
Hot damn. But, I think telling somebody, like, hey, I don't have anything going on Christmas Eve. What are your plans? I mean, I have had a couple of single people come to my house for Christmas Eve.
I have too.
And I love it. I don't always know who needs somewhere to go, but my home would always be open to somebody who needs somewhere to go. So I would just say, tell your friends.
Yeah.
Tell somebody
Yeah.
that you're going to be alone. Don't be alone if you don't want to be alone.
Yeah.
If you want to be alone, be alone. But if you don't want to be alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Loneliness is sad.
Loneliness is sad. And it is, well, so when you're in that, if you are finding your place in that space, make sure that you allow yourself to be there, and make sure that you can give yourself permission to cry, to be angry, to be, annoyed with your friends that are doing all these things and they're with their families. It's okay to give yourself permission. You don't have to be nice, and you don't have to make yourself happy.
Yeah. Because
there's a place before that, which is the sadness and the loneliness and all that. So make sure you do that for yourself.
And I think that when you're going through a hard time, it's kind of cruel to have like Thanksgiving or Christmas right in the middle of a hard time, because there's this expectation that you should be happy. But Christmas doesn't always trump the unhappy or the hard or the lonely or the divorce or the loss.
No.
Just because it's Christmas doesn't mean you have to be okay.
No, or you should be.
Yes.
Well, what's wrong with you? Are you a Christian? Are you a godly woman? If you're not, then, all of that.
Don't get me started on
that. Good to have a preacher handy.
Okay, family dynamics. This is a doozy. There's always, do you always get a ramp up of people after Thanksgiving and Christmas coming your way?
For
counseling?
Yeah.
There's an uptick for sure.
There is an uptick. Yeah.
In the 911ing of therapists, because it's just it's family. It's family dynamics. Just because it's family doesn't mean it's perfect or it's okay or it's easy or
Plus, this is an election year, so if people haven't resolved their issues during Thanksgiving, I guess Christmas is when you get to do it. You know what I mean? Like, you haven't seen your family, and these people voted for this guy, and these people voted for this guy. And if they don't get to resolve that at Thanksgiving, unfortunately, Christmas might be the time, which is not good.
I say take politics off the table.
Of course, but
good Lord, don't talk about politics.
But I think it's really hard for some people. I mean,
it's not hard.
Well, they're mad at the people. They're mad at people that. They're mad at people that didn't vote the way they wanted.
I think it's easier said than done.
You
say don't talk about it, but golly, it's so hard for some people to just not. It's like their whole life. They let it become their whole life. It's crazy.
That's too bad.
But then, okay, but forgetting about politics, like there is that one uncle that, gets too drunk, or that one aunt that only talks about money and brags all the time. And it's funny. There's all that happens. Well,
family dynamics are very, very difficult because there's, again, another expectation that just because that is your mother, that is your father, that is your sister. It's like and she pisses me off, and I have boundaries around that relationship.
Yeah.
What are you about to say, Tom?
Oh, I was just going to say, like, sometimes it could be the way that different families discipline their children. And when all the kids are together, the ones that are undisciplined it's like funny and so jarring for the kids that are disciplined. And it's just really fun. That's how it was in my family. There would be this one family that would come, and their kids just behaved so differently than me and my siblings because we had strict parents and they were not. And so that was like, I just remember it specifically from my childhood, having to like see how that all came to fruition, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think all the dynamics come out at Christmas time. It's like... And then you spend enough time around each other, and it's
we kind of don't have anything messy at Christmas, and it's been that way for a while.
That's nice,
but it's because everybody is the grandchildren are old enough that they're not mad. They don't get mad at each other.
Yeah.
The grandchildren love each other, and
all your girls love each other. And you and Tom and you and your ex-husband get along great.
Yeah.
The dynamic is really, really great.
The dynamic is great. And I mean, my daughters will have not at Christmas or any time, but if we go on a vacation, they might get annoyed with each other or something like that. But it really is, it's pretty calm.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it really is.
My siblings and I, we get along fantastic, and all cousins and everything get along great too. But I just know that that's not the case for everybody.
It's not.
And there's a lot of alcohol. There's a lot of. I mean, I have one client whose husband was in rehab during Thanksgiving, and he told her that the day or two after Thanksgiving, like, there was a huge
oh yeah,
like a bunch of people checking in, because I'm sure there was a big blow up, and it's like, you're going to rehab, So I mean, and I don't blame people, but I think a lot of that stays hidden.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people walk around like, oh, Thanksgiving was a shit show, But I think for a lot of people, it is.
Yeah,
for whatever it can be.
It can be, yeah, for sure. So what are your traditions? What do you have for a Christmas lunch?
Christmas lunch, I have typically done like a beef tenderloin, mashed potato, that
delicious.
Kind of deal. Yeah. What about y'all?
What do you do, Tom?
Well, we're having a Christmas Eve dinner we're hosting this year. And we've done that tenderloin the last like 4 times we've done it. So I asked Maureen if we could switch this year, and she said yes. So I'm going to be grilling steak.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, just classic West Texas, steaks. But we'll do all of the mashed potatoes and all that stuff. And then the next day, Christmas, we're hosting for Maureen's side of the family for lunch, and that will probably be pretty laid back. I think she's probably going to make some sort of pasta, something easy, because I know that she's not going to want to be in the kitchen all day on Christmas. I think she's going to want to like prepare it and then just warm it up.
What is like a signature pasta? What does she make?
She does this bow tie pasta that's kind of like a tomato cream sauce.
Ooh, I love
sausage.
that. Is that like that? It's like a vodka sauce.
Yeah, it's a vodka cream tomato. It's got some wilted spinach in there. It's really good. And little sausage balls. Yeah, it's super good.
I want some right now.
Me too.
Yeah.
That sounds
that one will be way more laid back. We might even use paper plates that day.
Yeah.
Hey.
You know what I do? I order these. So my china was my grandmother's. And
I copied this from you because you shared it last year.
And I don't want any of those dishes to get broken. So I order on Amazon the heavy-duty plastic.
With the gold trim?
With the gold trim. The cream-colored with the gold trim. And I buy the napkins also, so I'm not even using cloth napkins. My mother would be rolling in her grave, I'm sure. But it's great. And then you just throw it all away.
Yep.
Not my sterling. I do use my sterling silver.
We did that exact same for
isn't it
Thanksgiving.
fabulous?
It was brilliant. I was like, cleanup's over. Because, I mean, even just doing the dishes that you cooked with is a lot.
It's a lot. Well, but see what I do.
Oh, you do mi casina.
Yeah, I pick up mi casina.
That's right. That's right.
That's great.
You don't even cook.
I don't. I make like my caramel tart.
Oh yeah,
chocolate and my
really
cheesecake.
Those are really good. I've eaten both of those. And they're outrageously yummy.
That is my cooking, and I do buy a couple of bottles of champagne. As soon as everybody gets there, we have a glass of champagne.
Pop.
And then Miko. Here we go.
God, I love mi casina.
I love mi casina too.
Did you know that they brought the Los Cabos salad back from Taco Diner?
No.
It's back on the menu. I was so sad about Taco Diner closing because I love the Los Cabos salad. They brought it to mi casina.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because you and I usually get the Rico.
Yeah.
With beans and salsa. We do the exact same thing without even knowing it. And anyway, you can now get the Los Cabos too.
Oh, that's really
now
good
we have
to
a
know.
Decision to make.
We do.
Pressure. Pressure. I'm getting mouth water.
I gotta go. I gotta go get one of them right now.
Okay, another one. Anxiety. The expectation to be happy and festive can exacerbate anxiety, especially if you feel like you need to live up to a certain standard.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I don't want
the
any
good
expectations.
I feel bad for anybody who experiences this because that just seems kind of strange.
Well, it's just not. It's not. It has nothing to do with the celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's really is about love. So, but yeah, that would be very difficult.
Maybe a newlywed wife who's hosting for the first time. It could be really nervous about hosting for the new family and whatnot. I could see that.
Especially if you have a mean mother-in-law.
Oh.
Or a judgmental mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Or a critical mother-in-law. You're going to use those paper plates with the gold trim? Where's your china?
Exactly.
Maureen's
They're
probably
not paper. They are
probably going to hear
heavy-duty
this and
plastic.
make me edit it.
Heavy-duty plastic.
On Amazon.
One that goes along with that is travel stress. Oh my gosh, especially if you're traveling with young children. I officiated a wedding this weekend of one of my dear friends, and she has children and grandchildren, and they all traveled, and just all the grandbabies and all the crying, and I mean, and they're wonderful children, but they're children. Yes, and I'm just looking at it, thinking, thank the good Lord, I'm out of that stage.
Oh, but you'll be back in it.
Yes,
You're going to be.
We will. But for now, I've got a little bit of a break of that. And I'm like, these poor young parents who have to travel with these.
It's hard.
These littles who just are tired and cranky and missing their nap. And they they miss their feeding or whatever the deal. And
especially if they're infants, they're
getting the stink eye from the neighbor.
Mm-hmm, and their ears are popping when they land and take off.
Yes. Oh, I feel so bad for that.
I know it.
Okay, I thought this one was interesting. Cultural expectations. Feeling pressured to conform to certain holiday traditions or expectations that may not align with your personal beliefs.
Uh-huh.
I could see that. Like, if you go to an in-laws and they're super religious and you're not, and you've got to hold hands and say a prayer that you don't feel comfortable being a part of, or maybe you're a Christian and they're Jewish, or it's like being respectful of other people's beliefs.
And just being aware enough to allow the differences.
Mm-hmm. And without taking offense to them.
And look at it from an interesting perspective instead of a right and wrong.
Yeah.
I always think it's really interesting when religion becomes a right and a wrong. Mm-hmm. I just can't.
Mm-hmm. Because what's right for somebody may not be right for somebody else, but it doesn't mean it's wrong.
No, it doesn't.
But a lot of people feel very strongly that they are wrong, whoever they are.
If you're not with like them, then
they're wrong.
Yeah. What do y'all do on Christmas Eve? Do you go to church?
Yeah, we go to Highland Park Methodist and do the candlelight service. But even like my kids now, like Carter still aligns with Methodism. I think George does too. But like Anna Prin, she's a lot more conservative than she's really Bible. And
where does she go to church?
She goes to oh my gosh, I'm blanking on it. It's a black church.
Oh,
she goes to an all black church, and she feels very aligned with that.
That's cute.
Yeah, and it's just different.
Yeah.
And so she kind of has to come to our side of the street for Christmas Eve. Come back to what kind of she grew up with, and then like my family's Mormon. Like, I even have to have a conversation with a couple of my Mormon family members who are coming to the wedding. Like, just so you know, there's going to be boobs and beer. Lots of boobs and beer.
I thought you were going to say a lot of Jesus and praying.
Well, there'll be that. There'll be a smattering of that. But
boobs and beer.
But they're going to have to...
Boobs or booze? Boobs and
boobs. BOOBS.
Why do y'all take your shirts off?
No, but there's I've got some friends who
maybe hoes.
Yeah, they've got little boobies, coming out of their dress, and probably in a print too. Like
that's hilarious.
I mean, gosh. And you just have to come with an open mind.
Yeah, you do.
Because if they can't come, or if you can't come with an open mind, I think it just not only ruins your experience, but it ruins their. I mean, I just think the open mind is the best mind.
It is. It really is. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm
not trying to get them out of being Mormon. Yeah. So I just need you to accept that.
Yeah.
That they are where they are too.
Yeah. I agree.
So, but yeah, there's going to be boobs and booze.
Tom and I go to, Tom likes Westminster Church. Mm-hmm. And I go with him there for Christmas, but I don't love. It's a real small church, and I like a bigger church because I grew up in a big old Baptist church, Mm-hmm. But so we go to their Christmas. They have beautiful singers that the music is always spectacular, and then Tom and I will go to a restaurant and have dinner. And then we always come home and watch Elf.
Oh, yeah.
Because
with Buddy.
With Buddy the dog. And so Tom has a poster of Elf.
Signed, right?
Signed, signed by Will Ferrell.
So
he
cool.
signed it. It's in his study, and I mean he loves. He loves the movie.
Oh, what's not to love? It's brilliant.
I know the dialogue, probably. We've watched it so many times. But it is really...
Did you hear that?
God, I love that movie so much.
It is hilarious.
We watch it every year, too.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. That's fun. Listen to Tom giggling. Okay, the last one is mental health challenges. Existing mental health conditions like depression can worsen during the holidays. And so being sensitive that, like we talked about when we started, like the good is so good during Christmas and the hard is so much more difficult. So also regulating yourself with that.
Yeah, and if you do struggle with depression, and especially if you take medicine, make sure you take your medicine during the holidays,
Heck yeah.
because those depressive episodes can just kind of blow up from, somebody can say one thing, and if you're kind of going down that slope, it can really be a blow up and be very heightened. So really try to make sure and if you don't take a prescription, then there's a over-the-counter, you can get it at Whole Foods, it's called ashwagandha. And ashwagandha, and it's just an over-the-counter herb that really does help mood. So if you're struggling with that and you don't want to be on a prescription, then try that. You can try that first, and then if it doesn't work, then I do highly encourage you to go get on an antidepressant. But yeah,
that's good to know.
Yeah.
So can you take that with an antidepressant as well?
Well, you probably could, but I don't know why you would, because it's not going to be as strong as or as effective as like a neurotransmitter change. So the ashwagandha, but it really does work.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
You've mentioned that before, but I always forget the name of that.
Oh, ashwagandha. And Whole Foods has it.
We know that the holidays, we think it should be perfect. The commercials and the music put pressure on us that it should be perfect, but it's not perfect.
No.
For a lot of people. And so just having patience with yourself and others, I think is really, really, really important.
And if you are struggling with something, try to reach out to somebody else that you think you might be helping them get out of their loneliness or whatever, because that can be a pretty effective way to help yourself.
Sure.
Is to help somebody else.
100%.
Yeah.
100% with
I have a client who, she's really cute. She's cool. She's older than I am, but she goes every week. She goes to the to Children's Medical Center and serves popcorn to the kids. And her husband died, and she said that has provided her with so much comfort and really affected her grief.
Wow.
As minimized because of serving popcorn.
It's really cool.
It's really cool. So if you ever think about going and volunteering somewhere, that'll help also.
Wow.
Ring the bells at North Park.
Yeah, I would not want to do that.
I would do that.
I really admire people who do.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful that there's somebody else who could do that.
That could ring the bells while people that put it in the bucket?
Yeah.
Salvation Army?
I don't want to do that.
Well, you have to. You have to go with me.
I would hold babies at Children's, but I don't want to ring bells outside. I would go absolutely.
Are you thinking you might snitch money out of the
One
bucket?
For you,
out
one
of the red
for me.
bucket.
That's freaking hilarious.
That is.
So, if you're listening, we're going to take a couple of weeks off for the holidays. We are posting this today. Then we're going to take 2 weeks off, and then we will resume back here to record and post on January 6th.
Yes.
So with this, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. I'm going to leave off the ho-ho-ho.
We hope that all of you have the most wonderful holiday with your family.
Yes. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Merry Christmas.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.